He finished first at this season's Denny's PBA Tour Trials competition. Today he makes his third career appearance in a television final. From Olmsted Falls, Ohio, Chris Loschetter.
Chris is trying to duplicate what his tour roommate Chris Collins did a couple of weeks ago, win his first title. In order to accomplish this feat, he will have to beat not one, but two major championship winners today.
With almost $4 million in career earnings and 40 Denny's PBA Tour titles, today he can tie the PBA record for most tour wins. From Ocala, Florida, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Walter Ray is making back-to-back shows for the 46th time in his career. Are you kidding me? This is the sixth shot at tying Earl Anthony's record of 41 career titles. And keep in mind, he's won twice in this building.
With 22 Denny's PBA Tour titles, today marks his seventh television finals appearance of the season. From Claremont, Florida, Norm Duke.
Norm has made over $170,000 this season without winning a title. But in Norm's own words, if you're not the lead dog, the view is all the same. Today, he looks to be the leader of the pack.
These are your finalists competing for the title in the 2006 Ace Hardware Championship.
All right, let's take a look at our brackets. Mike Scroggins takes out the reigning player of the year, Patrick Allen, in 6. Chris Loschetter, well, he beat Doug Kent, Pete Weber, and Danny Wiseman to make the show. Norm Duke, after he got done beating up on the Traver brothers, well, he took care of Brad Angelo 4-zip. And Walter Ray Williams Jr., all three of his matches went 7 games. He bowled the maximum number of games this week, 35 games in 2 days.
Get ready, bowling fans. What a tremendous head-to-head matchup we have to start our show today. 2 of the games, all-time greats, head-to-head on TV. Duke, Walter Ray. Norm gets us started with a perfect shot.
And Dave, this is the 11th meeting between Walter Ray and Norm Duke. Walter Ray has a lead in the win column. He's won 7 times.
All right, come on. But he's 0-3, and Paige, his wife, knows that, with her own special bobblehead against Norm in title matches. Come on, baby. Yeah. Nice start. Perfect strike. Walter Ray Williams Jr. The last time was that 03 Geico Classic, the 300 game we saw a moment ago in Tacoma, Washington. Our first Ace Hardware matchup. What did Norm Duke tell us, Randy, last night? He feels as of this moment he has surpassed Walter Ray in terms of his look, in terms of his command of the lanes. Walter Ray agrees.
Yeah, and you know, that's funny coming from Walter Ray. You'd never think he would agree that somebody's better than him, but he did agree that Norm's bowling better.
High shot avoids a difficult split, but has the 4-7. Second straight show. We were off last week, of course, because of championship week on ESPN, and Walter Ray's gone for number 41, trying to tie Earl Anthony's tour title record. Four times last year he went for it. Didn't win on TV. In Akron a couple of weeks ago, lost in the final to Chris Collins. After the first 3 strikes, he lost his look. He chose to finish on the left lane in Akron and lost his look on that lane. 3-peat for Norm. What a year it's been. 7 shows. That's a tour best. Had to really hurry. Light hit. 2-pin.
In this building back in 1993, Dave, Walter Ray Williams Jr. was chasing Mark Roth's single-season titles record. Norm Duke beat Walter Ray that day and went on to win the tournament.
A lot of history between these two greats, Randy. And you spoke with both just moments ago. And Loschetter Scroggins, our second semifinal. What do the bowlers tell you about their looks?
Norm was very confident. In fact, he should have had confidence stamped on his forehead when I asked him what his look was like. He said, Randy, my look is great on both lanes. When I talked to Walter Ray, though, he said that he was going to play out and probably a little bit further out than he should. And in his own words, he said, but what the heck?
Crunching all 10 down to the pit. Good look from our crew how far right Norm was starting there. He tells us he really feels at this stage of his career at 41 years old, he's mastered all lane conditions. Feels there really isn't a pattern out there on the Denny's PBA Tour that can lick him on a regular basis.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem with lane conditions. To him, it doesn't matter.
High shot, Walter Ray. Oh no, the big four stands again for Walter Ray Williams Jr. And the ball reaction issues continue for Walter Ray on TV. We know he's made the big four before, Randy. We just saw it a moment ago in our open of the broadcast in Atlanta last year. First and only time on TV. However, history will not repeat itself here in Taylor today, and it's an open frame. Walter, to me, seemed very confident, very much at ease with this TV show. As we see his road, difficult matchups. The maximum 7 for all three, and Paul Fleming threw a 300 game at him, game 5 in the round of 8.
Yeah, he says he really got lucky to get past Paul Fleming. Walter Ray makes a ball change and comes a little light and carries a strike. But, you know, I was down there watching the players practice, and Walter Ray did not look comfortable with his ball reaction. He got away with it in the second frame. The third frame looked like he grabbed it to get the ball to hook up a little bit harder. It goes through the nose, and there's a big 4. Just does not look comfortable. Norm looks like he's firing on all cylinders, not having a problem with lane conditions.
One Traber right now is under the cut line. One is out. Dale is still alive for an exemption next year. Look out, double wood here for Norm as he leaves the 2-8, and then Brad Angelo just wiped out in the round of 8 on Friday here in 4 straight. Big theme with Norm. Can he finally get himself, as we see the spare percentage numbers, to a victory? 77.4% this week.
And unusual for him because he prides himself as being a shot maker and a great spare shooter.
Japan Cup, the Masters, Chicago, Fountain Valley, Buffalo, Akron, now here in Taylor. All TV shows this year for Normie. Takes care of the double wood, the 2-8 spare. Second place in the Japan Cup to Jones. Second in the Masters to Scroggins. And then Buffalo to Doug Kent.
And an interesting early note that, you know, Norm Duke has not struck yet on the right lane. Walter Ray was the higher seed. He gets the choice of starting lane. Norm gets the finish on the right lane.
"60 feet to success, Norm Duke." That's a flush strike for you in the 1-3 pocket. Norm 0-6 so far on TV in terms of winning titles. The most since the PBA went to the match play format 02-03 season. If he can't win this year or today, it'd be the most since Chris Barnes, who has the record. TV shows 1 year, no wins. 0-12 back in 2000. Back to Walter Ray.
Wow, what a big move he just made there. He moved in like 5 boards left.
There's a pin in the back there.
So double for Walter Ray. There's to be some dead wood there. While they get it straightened out, we'll check out the oil pattern. We're on the Viper, Andy.
37 feet, which equals a lot of back end this week. You see Norm Duke is already playing the outside line, the 5th board. You're going to watch Chris Loschetter. He's going to be in and throwing it to that spot. Walter Ray just made a move and went right in between the two, and Mike Scroggins doing what Mike Scroggins does. That's throwing it pretty straight up first arrow.
So after the open, Randy, in the 3rd frame, chance to take a lead here for Walter Ray with the turkey. 6th frame. Double wood, just like Norm left.
Wait, just a split second longer, thanks.
Someone distracted him to his right. And it's a theme that Randy and I will talk about, how difficult it is to win on TV even for these two legends who have all the combined titles, with the crowd here, things change.
See the big move that he's made now. He was playing about the second or third board, and on that shot there, he was almost in the second arrow.
It's a low number for Walter Ray. The guy they call Deadeye. Incredible hand-eye coordination. Covers nicely. Horseshoe pitching champion. He actually, with his left hand last year, finished second in the world in horseshoe pitching. He is that accurate, that talented, an incredible athlete. The rest of this semifinal, two legends of our sport, head-to-head when we return to Taylor. The Ace Hardware Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Ace. Ace is the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By Denny's, we're cooking now. By Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. This year, let the tax experts at Jackson Hewitt help you get the biggest refund you deserve. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of bowling. Welcome back, everyone. We're midway through a semifinal matchup here in Taylor, Michigan. Two of the sport's all-time greats, Walter Ray, Norm Duke, each looking for his first title of the season. Duke by 8 pins. Welcome one and all. Sundays are for bowling. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson alongside. Glad you could join us. In my mind, two key numbers, folks, to look at today, 7 and 6. Norm Duke looks for his first victory, 7 TV shows this year, and no wins. For Walter Ray, 6. Sixth time, he goes to try to tie Earl Anthony's all-time tour title record of 41. So, Randy, my question to you, why is it so difficult, even for great bowlers like these two, to win on the Denny's PBA Tour?
I think because it's different. You know, I mean, these are the greatest players in the world, and nothing can prepare you for this type of atmosphere on television. The players now have to contend with lights, cameras, a national television audience, one-game matches against the greatest bowlers in the world, pressure unlike anything you've ever felt before, ever-changing lane conditions. For one shot can be the difference between winning and losing. But keep one thing in mind. Walter Ray and Norm Duke have a combined 242 shows between them and 62 wins. That means they only win 25% of the time they're on television.
Randy, here are the top 4 Denny's PBA Tour points leaders heading to the World Championship next week in Indianapolis. So important since they bypass qualifying and make the round of Super 16. Jones top ranked with his 4 wins in a major. Duke 7 TV appearances. Mike Scroggins 6 shows in a major. Wes Malott made the first 4 shows of the year. A win in Denver. He's been consistent since, although he hasn't made TV since Omaha, an event won by Mike Machuga earlier this year. Back to this matchup of superstars. Duke works on a strike. Chance to go up 18 pins, 6th frame. In that TV timeout, you know the bowlers are thinking about strategy and adjustments. Norm has made the right choice.
Yeah, that was a good adjustment on that lane. He finally got that ball to hook up into the pocket. Looked like he moved a little bit right. Got the ball to grab a little bit more and get up into the 1-3.
Norm told us last night, the last thing he remembers about the events, even though he's made all these shows, is losing that last match. He hasn't left a winner yet. Crunching all 10 down to the pin, and that's what he wants to change today.
Hey, Dave, do you smell that? Smells like turkey.
Is it Thanksgiving yet?
Thanksgiving in March here in Detroit.
Walter Ray works on a spare. All of a sudden, he's down 28 pins, folks. Now's the time. Bottom loft. Crosses over. It's a high shot.
No reaction. Jeez.
And a 3-pin for Walter
Oh, I
Ray.
wasted that practice session.
And I could see it when he was practicing. It looked like he had a tough road to get to the pocket. He didn't like his look from out. He moved in. He got this ball, to me, which appears to be left off of his hand. And no way it's going to hold there. The middle part of the lane hooks.
Takes care of the mark, but he needs strikes right now. Just 3 events left in this season's ESPN's coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour, rolling on with the coverage of the Denny's World Championship. The greatest bowlers in the world hit Woodland Bowl in Indy, where my partner Randy won a title back in 1999. Check the start time, folks. Special time of 2 Eastern. It's our 3rd major of the year.
Thanks for that plug, Dave.
Anytime.
Walter Ray is in big trouble. Norm Duke is lined up now, and Walter Ray can't hit the pocket.
4-7. The last 6 times now. The struggles will continue for Walter Ray. 4 last year. He didn't win a TV match after Cleveland, where he won his 40th title. So he got so close to Earl's record. And this year in Akron, got himself to the finals, but lost to Chris Collins when he lost his look after a couple of frames. Now Norm, who's gotten a TV much more, and told us he feels his game is more complete than Walter Ray's right now. Just avoids the 7-10. Well, Randy, you and I talked about earlier today, in terms of storylines with Norm, sometimes just not getting the breaks on TV, that's a break.
Yeah, it is, and you know he's well ahead in this match, and the last thing he needs is an open frame. And right here, he gets a nice break and avoids that. Pocket 7-10.
Didn't like it.
Immovable obstruction. If I could drop here.
Norm referring to the cap on the ball return. Sometimes it gets in the player's way. Just give it a little nudge and move it out of the way and make your 10-pin.
All you guys from Florida, big golfers. And there's the 10, although it wasn't right on the money.
Golf and fishing. What else do you do in Florida?
That's about it. Going back to what Norm told us last night, where he leaves events with a bad taste in his mouth despite making TV so often. He has a 30-pin lead here. He said, look, I don't like departing an event not being the champ, not with a big check, not with the title under my belt, and not with a trophy. That's what we're all here for. Won't get lucky this time. Now it's the 7-10. Wow.
Well, this makes things interesting now. Walter Ray can strike out and shoot 209. Norm Duke, if he fails to convert here and gets 1, he'll be going at a 206 pace.
Leaves the 7, an open frame so late in the match can be damaging, especially in that foundation 9th frame.
So there's still life for Walter Ray Williams Jr. If he strikes out, he'll force Norm to double. But kind of a tall task considering I'm not sure Walter Ray knows where to stand and what target to look at with what ball.
Make it close.
Echoes your sentiment, Randy. He is unsure. So just the 3 all-time 7-10 conversions on TV will stand.
Come on. Come on.
Had to have that one.
Come on. Get it close. Come on.
And a much better shot he made there. You could see that ball stay on line. His hand was behind it. He didn't pull it and get it left. 3 more shots like that, and it's going to be up to Mr. Duke.
As Randy pointed out, max numbers for each. Paige Pennington to the left of her, Aaron Loschetter, Chris's wife. Just 2 out of 4. Only 1 strike. Gotta hit it here, which she does.
Now you know why this guy's won 40 times. You know, he stuck around long enough for his opponent to give him an opening, and he just made 2 of the best shots he's made in his spectacular career. But it's all for naught, in my opinion, if he doesn't get this one right here. This one will put the pressure on Norm Duke and force Norm to double in the 10th frame.
Walter Ray tells us people ask him all the time, what's the matter with you? Why can't you win your 41st? Or, you'll get it soon, Walter Ray. He's a bit tired of hearing it. Wants to take control. This is the moment. 4-pin. Unbelievable.
Wow, that shot actually looked better than the shot before it. He got it off his hand pretty clean, and the ball just overhooked down the lane. May have been a pinch left right there, but not a bad shot. Now Norm Duke will need a mark in the 10th frame.
So close to striking there and making this a very interesting final frame for Norm Duke. 198 for Walter Ray. By a whisker. just the mark. And Norm is through.
Wow.
He just about had it again. That was close. 10-pin just for Norm Duke. We almost were looking at a 7-10 there.
Can you say ball change? Almost pocket 7-10, pocket 7-10, flat 10. But first things first, cover the spare, then change balls your fill shot and find something new.
Oh, no, you don't.
Just got to keep it on the lane basically now. 3 pins. And he's wrapped up this win. The 11th all-time head-to-head with Walter Ray. He will still have the 7-4 lead, but it's been Duke in the title matches winning them all. And most importantly today, he'll advance to the final. How about 9 pins?
Norm's going to win, and that 4-pin ends up costing Walter Ray the win.
Unbelievable. And he just didn't miss it, Randy. It was a great shot. 2 of the game's all-time greats on one TV center stage. It was a treat to watch. One legend knocks off another, and Walter Ray's long wait for number 41, trying to tie Earl Anthony's all-time tour title record, will continue at least one more week to the World Championship in Indy. He came so close, but Duke advances to the finals. Well, Norm Duke certainly has had a tremendous season. 7 shows to lead the tour, the most for him since 2000 when he also had 7, but he goes for his first win of this year against the winner of Scroggins Loschetter. First, let's check out the Dexter approach. The subject, young Mr. Loschetter.
Yeah, Mr. Loschetter has a great game. Real heavy ball roll. He can hook it. He's learning to go straight. But watch this position right here. Doesn't he look great there? Looks like he should be on top of a bowling trophy. Just perfect position. Watch how he hits the foul line. Nice steady head. Bends that elbow when he wants to hook it. The elbow straightens out a little bit more when he's trying to go straight.
Just 25 years old from Olmsted Falls, Ohio. Started his collegiate career at Nebraska. As his wife, Erin, is watching. His parents are to her left as well. First time Chris's folks have seen him bowl in person. Chris and Mary. Late hit on number 10 for Chris Loschetter. Just outside Cleveland. He and his wife Erin just have purchased their first house together in Avon just this week.
And right off the bat, Chris Loschetter is playing a foreign part of the lane. You didn't see Walter Ray or Norm Duke playing that far in. Chris Loschetter, we'll see if it works out for him.
Lone lefty of the show is Mike Scroggins. Crunches all 10 down into the pit. He likes this oil pattern, the Viper.
Loves it. Says it's his favorite pattern. But what he hasn't liked as of late is his look on television. And when he's the lone left-hander, his average has been 194.
Hard to imagine.
When there was multiple lefties, he averaged something like 214.
Yeah, 214.60. He's 3-2. He's 0-2 as the only lefty on the show. Lone southpaw here, 6-pin.
And you know that, even though professionals at this level, they're able to throw one ball on one lane and a different ball on the other. To me, that's just not a real good sign. That means that the lanes aren't to your liking, and you have to use 2 different bowling balls. And believe me, it happens. I won a title doing that, but I'd much rather use the same ball and have the same look on both lanes.
Has his single pin conversion. We're happy to report that Mike's family is doing just fine in Amarillo, Texas. The wild brush fires of that state, so devastating and fatal over the last couple of weeks, did not get to the Scroggins house, thankfully, about 20 miles out. Lochetter's road included knocking off Danny Wiseman, which happened last year in the round of 8. The event that started in Taylor, the World Championship, but ended at the EMU Convocation Center, Eastern Michigan, in Ypsilanti. Made the final. A little bit of a light hit there, though. And the 210.
Just looked a little fast. The faster you throw the ball down the lane, the less chance it has to hook. He got it a little bit right with a little bit of speed, and just can't do that. That ball's not going to get back from that spot.
Split numbers, not great.
Just going to try to get the ball to the left side of the 2-pin and throw it over into the 10.
Nah. Nope. We saw a moment ago in that feature with Sean Rash converting that 210 is no easy matter, especially on TV. Chris Loschetter, as we check out the ace matchup, the learning curve for the youngster. Just getting going in his career, just his third ever show. Mike Scroggins has had a brilliant year, but can he really finish now is the question.
Well, he's had bad ball reactions or has bowled poorly the last 4 times out since winning the Masters. And Chris Loschetter is a newcomer. It's his first exempt year. This guy, Mike Scroggins, is a tour veteran. But hey, we all know what Chris's roommate did 2 weeks ago.
Perfect shot, Chris Collins, that's right. Won his first career title against Walter Ray in the final in Akron. Chris, by nature, Randy, is a pretty low-key, laid-back type of guy. He seemed really tight and even quieter than usual this morning when we saw him at the bowling center.
Not this time.
Maybe some emotional help him get going.
Well, he made a ball change on that left landing and threw it good. That's the thing. You got to have a good look and you have some confidence in what you're doing.
Looking for late help. Messenger across the deck for the 7-pin. In his 21st career TV appearance, 6th of this year at career best. Mike just turned 42, March 12th. Big moment of his season, winning the Masters in Milwaukee over Norm Duke in the final. Now the step ladder. Duke was the top seed and awaited all challengers, and Scroggins knocked him off. However, on TV since the Masters, a little bit of trouble. Not a hard time making the show, but winning on it, a different story. And that goes back to our overall theme of the day, even with great bowlers like Scroggins, Duke, and Williams Jr. You can struggle on TV. Like that. Ooh, is that way off?
The backhand's getting tight again.
The 1-3-7 washout.
Well, and we've just seen this time after time, unfortunately, for Mike Scroggins. He just bowls absolutely phenomenal, like you said, in match play, qualifying in match play. I mean, he just runs over guys in match play. And then he gets on television and his ball goes all over the lane, whether it's part lane condition, part him, or a combination of both.
Somehow the 7 stands. I mean, shrapnel everywhere. Spraying right by the 7-pin, but it's an open frame for Mike Scroggins, and that could be just major trouble. As Loschetter, even this early in the match, works on a strike, 4th frame, chance to go up by 13 pins. Chris has had a nice season. See his top finishes. He's 18th in the points list. He's essentially guaranteed a shot of being exempt next year by making the cut line. Ceiling level look there from our crew. And some help on number 10.
Wow, the bird dog comes across and just gobbles up the 10. What a nice break. Turns it into a double. Watch the head pin right here. It's going to go flying across and take the 10 out just barely. Watch this. Bang. Here it comes. Catches just enough of it.
The big goal, he told us, of being in the top 16 to make the Japan Cup to start next season. He's 18th right now. Of course, wants to win his first ever title. He's worked closely with a coach from Oberlin College, who his wife Erin was coached by, Tom Reed. All 10 down there, and he said Coach Reed has been very instrumental since he's in that Cleveland area, working with Chris constantly on all sorts of things from technique to mental approach.
Yeah, and it just showed there those last 2 shots. Makes the change, and even Chris says it's a learning curve out here, but he makes the ball change and throws a 3-bagger right behind that open frame in the second.
Let's face it, career year for Scroggins. He has been just brilliant getting to the show. But can he win consistently on TV? Yeah. With shots like that, perhaps.
And here's something that I don't understand. Mike Scroggins was the higher seed of the two players, which means that he gets choice of starting lane. Well, he chose to finish on the lane that's been giving him the most trouble. He just washed out on the left lane. He looks like he has a pretty good look on the right lane, so I'm not exactly sure about his strategy as far as what lane he started on and which lane he gets to finish this match on.
Mike Scroggins has never won 2 titles in one season. Only 3 in his career, 92, 04, and then this year the Masters. Perhaps his first ever multi-title season happens this year, but Chris Loschetter stands in his way first. We'll talk more about Scroggins and the strategy about lane selection. The Ace Hardware Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Ace. Ace is the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. And by Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to motel6.com. There's Aaron Loschetter, Chris's wife. The 4 from the 41 sign has been taken off. It's just the 1 because she would like her husband Chris to win his first ever Denny's PBA Tour title. Right now he's got a 13-pin lead. Looks for a 4-bagger. Chance to go up 23, 6th frame on Mike Scroggins. Chris's parents here, first time ever they've had a chance to watch him bowl in person on TV. Grandparents Marianne and Lowell in Oberlin, Ohio, having a big TV watch party today. They're all psyched up in Ohio. Wow, ringing 10.
Good shot.
Yes, it was.
Good shot.
Something different from Chris we've seen in terms of the approach, a little arm movement before he takes off. I haven't seen that before with him on TV.
Yeah, and most players do that to try to keep their swing nice and relaxed and nice and loose. Just kind of gives you a feeling of what you want your swing to feel like when your feet get moving.
Yep, he'll keep doing that even for the spare ball. He has a 10-pin. Hit it so hard, knocked it out of the back of the pit. Creating a little deadwood. Later today, coverage of the 23-event, $50 million NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series continues over on ESPN2. Drivers in the world's fastest motorsport move on to Gainesville, Florida for the AC Delco Gator Nationals. ESPN2 brings you the finals tonight, 5 Eastern Time. Coverage of the AC Delco Gator Nationals also available in high definition on ESPN2 HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today. 7th frame. Chris works on the spare, up 12 pins. Told us it's been a steep learning curve for him this year. There have been some hard knock moments for him on the PBA Tour. Just a youngster. First full year on tour. Got a little break there with the 8-pin.
Yeah, he got lucky there. He threw that one really hard.
Clean.
And this could have been disastrous. This could have been a 2-8-10 real easy. As you can see that he got it a little wide, and it looked like he threw it pretty fast. And that's a bad combination on this pattern, especially the way he's playing the lanes.
As the 5 seed, lost his first match to Mike Machuga, Fountain Valley, stepladder 5-man format, the Dick Weber Open earlier this season. Takes care of the 8-pin. He told us, I watched one time the TV version and saw how badly I was lined up with the angles the cameras provide on our great ESPN crew. He could tell what he was doing wrong, so it's a learning experience for Chris time in and time out.
Yeah, it's always nice to go back and look at, old video, and a lot of times you can pick out just what you said, well, my shoulders weren't aligned to my target, my feet look fast, or what have you.
Turkey ball try Scroggins.
Yeah.
Has it. So 3 in a row. Frames 5 through 7. Randy, I want to go back to what you said about lane selection. It intrigues me because Walter Ray made a mistake, you think, we both did, a couple weeks ago in Akron with his lane selection where he's going to finish, and he broke down on one of those lanes. Why did Mike pick this lane, you think?
I don't know, because, now he's getting up on the lane that he's going to finish the match on, and he's made a ball change. He started with a ball that looked kind of sanded and dull and kind of an early rolling ball, and he now is using the same ball he's using on the right lane.
Chance to take a lead here. Four-bagger.
Yeah.
Will do it.
Wow.
Late tap on the 10. And Scroggins bolts out in front with a four-bagger of Chris Loschetter here in the second semi. The winner takes on Norm Duke, who knocked off fellow legend Walter A. Williams Jr. in our first semifinal today.
Mike Scroggins showing a little maple moxie there with the ball change and then catching a four-bagger.
First time Chris has ever bowled the second match on TV. Really felt last night it would be an advantage. Oh, there's a late hit on four-pin, and down she goes. Because, of course, the oil breaks down more, little time to take in the atmosphere. And Chris's family knows just third ever TV appearance in his career. You need all the time you can get to let it soak in.
What hit this four-pin? Wow. That's a nice break. 236 max score for Chris Loschetter. But no matter what Chris does, Mike Scroggins cannot be shut out. He can shoot 245.
Chance to go back in front.
Yeah, right there.
Which he will. Big strike for Loschetter in the ninth. And he leads by a pin and gets the crowd going, too.
See how much better that shot was in terms of direction and speed. A little bit softer, gives the ball the time to read the oil pattern. It comes off the end of the pattern and hooks up into the pocket. Just a perfect shot.
Bird's eye view of that. Set up there from Loschetter. Now Scroggins has a difficult split again and a big shot there for Mike, looking for the five-bagger in the foundation ninth frame. Mercy.
Well, he just looked like he threw it bad. You see when a player hits himself in the side of the leg, or I've seen some cases where players will pop themselves up the side of the head. It's a bad shot, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for Mike Scroggins.
0 for 10 so far. Nearly gets it. But an open frame so late in the match could prove fatal here for Scroggins, who told us last night he was so confident coming into this show based on the success he's had. 3 times he's made the show from this house. The Denny's PBA Tour official website, PBA.com, your best source for all the latest PBA information. Recent PBA news include the announcement of the March 21st release date for the DVD League of Ordinary Gentlemen. Documentary chronicles the lives of our 4 PBA bowlers, Wayne Webb, Chris Barnes, Pete Weber, and Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Here it comes. All right, get out of the way.
There goes number 7. So be sure to log on to PBA.com today for all that information we just told you about. Big shot there from Scroggins, but down 15 pins.
Yeah, now the best Mike Scroggins can shoot is 211, and Chris Lochetter's in the 216 range right now. So even if Mike strikes out, Chris Loschetter can go 9 spare 9 and win this game.
Time to cool off, Chris. A lot of pressure. Seven pin was tapped again, but wiggles and stands.
Not this time, but he's going to need some help from Chris Loschetter. A big ugly split in the 10th frame and an open for Chris Loschetter. Mike Scroggins can still win this. Right now, any kind of mark in the 10th frame and Loschetter will advance.
If he's to win, it'll have to be on the bench. 201 score for Scroggins. His day complete, perhaps. Loschetter just needs the 9 pins now in the first shot. His wife, his mom and dad, here from Ohio. Perhaps he'll win his first ever Denny's PBA Tour title today.
One more now. Come on.
We know one thing. He'll be in the final. He'll take on Norm Duke for the championship here in Taylor, Michigan, outside Detroit. And the unbelievable, frustrating odyssey of making TV and not winning will continue for Mike Scroggins. Does have that Masters title this year. 5 other shows. He'll come up empty. Loschetter has the look.
A gutsy performance here. Just making some great shots, and when he made a bad one, it wasn't bad enough for him to open, and that's the difference here. He didn't throw the open frames there in the middle. He had a 3-bagger, 2 spares, a ball change after the second frame. He's throwing it really, really well and getting the ball to face up in the 1-3 perfectly.
Look from up above. Sees all 10 down. What a finish for Loschetter.
Was it the blimp? Was that a shot from the blimp?
I didn't realize you could fit one in here. 2:36
Okay, Justin, here we go now. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Chris Loschetter has a word out to some of his friends who've been so encouraging through his dark moments this year. It's been frustrating for the youngster. When we come back, skills challenge time. Tony Reyes, Mike Machuga, get ramped up, everyone. Some special shots are coming your way here on ESPN. Ronnie Attard, Ted Dobbins, proprietors here at Taylor Lane. Special thanks to those gentlemen and their entire staff. Great job here today as usual. Along with Aaron Dobbins, the GM here at Taylor Lane. It's always great to see Aaron. So supportive of our entire ESPN Denny's PBA Tour crew. Looking forward now to the Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Reyes Machuga. Skills Challenge semifinal matchup. Should be a good one. Tony Reyes, Mike Machuga. Tony will start with a specialty shot, the ramp.
I usually need help with Danny Wiseman here, but he was sick this week. Basically, you want to turn it just a little bit over to the right. Set up these 2 balls just right past it. I don't know how they came up with this one. And this ramp will go to one lucky fan after today.
Put my autograph on it after I strike.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Nothing's changed since college, buddy. You'll still be that little freshman I always knew my last year.
Wow, nice dig.
All right, that looks
Maybe he's trying to get into his head.
Let's see here.
These two are having some fun. High count, gets the strike, 3 strikes, wins the match. And a spot in the finals.
All right, 9, I'll take 9.
He's got 9. Machuga's got to match it. Or a strike to get the X. New, he'll get 6. Reyes takes the lead, 1 strike to none.
Oh, that was close.
All right.
1-step approach. Trying to strike. Tony's done this before. He's been pretty versatile on these skills challenge shots. There's the step. There's the strike.
1-step approach. It takes a nice loose arm swing, a steady head, and a good release. Tony has all 3.
So Machuga's got a match here, Randy, or he's down 2 strikes to none. 1 step.
That hasn't hooked all week.
Way light. Big lead, Tony Reyes. 2 strikes to none. Mike Machuga. Mike's in some trouble now.
I don't think he's been down at all during the matches.
Oh, the half twist.
Who wants that one?
My sister's favorite.
We've seen Machuga execute this very well. The spin.
Oh, boy, that looks pretty good.
Wow. I'll take 9. I haven't seen you keep it on a lane yet. Thank you.
Gotta be careful attempting this one.
This is just a difficult shot. How in the world do you hook it? He gets 9 also. No strike earned there because they each have 9 pins. Still 2 to zip Reyes.
I'm sneaky. I'm sneaky.
No,
All right. All right, now we're going to do a crazy one here. I actually bowled the person in the pro-am. He actually bowled off his opposite foot, and it was pretty impressive. So I thought I'd bring this up this year. It's kind of, I always try to help people out and teachings and stuff. And so this one's strike with the opposite foot. So for a right-hander, it's striking with your right foot. It's kind of weird.
You have to strike?
Got to strike.
Not very good on my left foot, let alone my right foot.
Opposite foot.
Too.
That's crazy.
Wow, late hit on number 9.
Trippa.
Man,
Hey, Trippa.
Michael, get it together. 2-0. I got no clue how to get this in the right time.
He's in a world of trouble here, Randy. That's a strike. Opposite foot to stay alive. He's not sure about the footwork at all, is he?
Yeah, he's not sure which foot to start with or which one to end up on.
That looks pretty good, too.
Pretty good shot. Not nearly enough for Mike Machuga. And Tony Reyes sweeps his way into the final. 3 strikes to none. In 2 weeks, PBA Skills Challenge final. Norm Duke with a patented towel shot. And Tony Reyes will go head-to-head. Tony will try to ramp it up against Normie in 2 weeks. There's Tony Reyes. He's in the finals against Norm Duke in the Skills Challenge. And serving as our statistician here today in Taylor. Let's hit the road. The Denny's PBA Tour, the 3rd major of the season, takes place Woodland Bowl in Indy, hosting the pros for a 23rd time. Patrick Allen looks to defend his title, and Tommy Jones tries to complete the second part of the Jackson Hewitt $1 Million Challenge. Note the special start time of 2 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN next week. Then they return to Grand Rapids, Michigan area for the 12th time. Spectrum Lanes plays host to the pros for the 8th time. Tommy Jones looks to defend his title there. Liz Johnson will see if she can improve on her memorable second-place finish in the Tour's final standard event of the season. That start time, 1 o'clock Eastern. For more, log on to PBA.com for all the Pro-Am time and ticket availability. Our finals coming up. Loschetter Duke from Taylor next. Duke Loschetter, we are set to go. Ace Hardware Championship here, Taylor, Michigan, outside Detroit. The final match just moments away. Let's check in with a Geico Championship recap. Semifinal number 1, a battle of 2 legends. Norm Duke against Walter Ray Williams Jr. 10th frame. Walter Ray with a chance here if he struck out to put a lot of pressure on Norm, but a 4-pin opens the door for Duke. All he needed was a mark. Converts the 10-pin single pin spare, and he wins that first match 205-198. Walter Ray's quest for number 41 in Earl's record continues. Second semifinal, Chris Loschetter, Mike Scroggins. 9th frame, big split for Scroggins, could not convert. Left the 7-pin in the 10th. Loschetter put him away. Big strike here, sealed the deal, and Loschetter is to the final for a second time in his career, looking for his first ever title, setting up a great championship match for the Ace Hardware Championship. 2 finalists joined by Randy.
Thanks, Dave. Chris, 2 weeks ago in Akron, your tour roommate, Chris Collins, won his first ever tournament. Today, you're going for your first ever title. Can I room with you guys next week?
I think it's a good idea.
Thanks. Hey, thanks. Well, that's great. What do you have to do to take that trophy home?
I got to beat one of the best bowlers in the world. And right now, I think he's probably the best. I got to step it up and throw a lot of strikes.
Thanks.
That's the plan.
Thanks, Chris. Storm and Norman. 7 shows this year, 3 second-place finishes. What do you have to do to win your first tournament of the season?
You know, I've got to post a better score than, the basic 180 that was last week, or the 2-0 like Walter. He should have beat me, I think. So, I mean, we got to get the numbers in the 240 or 50 range, or we're in trouble again.
Thanks, Norm. Dave?
Special thanks to Jeff Lapidis, Advertising Promotions Media Manager, Ace Hardware, our title sponsor of today's wonderful event, Taylor, Michigan, outside Detroit. We return to this great bowling center again. Played host to 21 Denny's PBA Tour events. This center, the last 6 seasons, 20 of the last 21 years overall. Loschetter starts the final. A little bit of a high shot, just has the 3-pin there. Could have been worse for him. This great bowling center, of those 20 events, 10 have been won by Hall of Famers. Wayne Webb, among others. Walter Ray Williams Jr. a couple years back. It's hosted some tremendous bowling. Legends of the game, we saw 2 of those to begin the day. Duke, Walter Ray. Now it's Loschetter and Norm for the final. Single Pin spare conversion there for the youngster Chris Loschetter from just outside Cleveland. Always the big support for Norm Duke. Starts the final in style. Perfect ball. Leading us to the Ace Hardware matchup for this final. Can Chris get his first ever title? Norm goes for number 23.
91 TV appearances to 3. Wow, that's staggering. But just to allude to what Chris Loschetter said in the interview, Norm Duke may be the best player on tour right now. And to take nothing away from Tommy Jones, but Norm Duke is second in average, second in points, third in money, without a victory this season.
It's the most money he's made since '94 when he won 273 plus thousand. Has all 10 down there. Second behind Jones in points you talked about. Jones a leader of the money list as well. Wow, second most money that Norm has ever made. 7 TV appearances. Back to back to back. But can he finish? That's the question. We'll answer it today. You thought he seemed very confident just before the Walter Ray match. Chris Loschetter, some confidence of his own.
And a ball change.
And a late hit on the 7-pin. All 10 down to the pit for Loschetter.
Nice adjustment here. Chris is trying to go a little bit straighter. The ball he was using, a little bit too much hook. I watched it in practice. The ball was overhooking. So he goes to a ball that's less aggressive, something that he can keep a little straighter down the lane.
What a breakout it was last year for Loschetter at this center and the World Championship in Ypsilanti. Leading qualifier for 16 games. Went to the round of Super 16, advanced through then to the TV show.
Wow.
Another great shot.
Yeah, what a great adjustment, too, for such a young guy.
Got a little experience this time.
Struck in frames 3 through 8 against Brian Voss in the semis, who had an open, and then made the final, lost eventually to Patrick Allen.
Look at the guys on the show today. Walter Ray Williams Jr., 46 years old. Norm Duke, starting all the way back at the end of the approach, 41 years old. Mike Scroggins, 43 years old. Chris Loschetter,
25.
yeah.
Big difference.
I'm sorry, Scroggins, you're only 42. I threw one in there on you.
Great start here. Turkey to begin things. Chance to go up 20 pins for Stormin' Norman Duke. He told us last night, yes, he feels as confident as he ever has in his career because of the ability to master all conditions. Doesn't feel as if any of the tour lane conditions are a problem. With shots like that, he can back it up. He has become versatile, has command, and a great start in the final. Wants more than anything, and this is 7th show of the year to finally win one this season. The great Norm Duke, the future great Chris Loschetter. More of the final next from Norm Duke. Great start, front 4, 20-pin lead on Chris Loschetter. Well, the young guns like Chris Loschetter have had a really great season. 9 of the 18 events, including the Japan Cup, have been won by bowlers under 30. Tommy Jones leads the way, of course, with his 4 titles. Wes Malott, Mike Machuga, Mike Wolf, Richie Allen, Sean Rash, all the under 30 crowd have a title this year. Maybe Chris Loschetter at 25 joins the group.
It's like either really young guys or really old guys. Nobody in between. Why is that? Do you have an explanation, Dave? Do you?
It's the trend. Looked high off his hand, and it is right through the nose.
Yeah, left off of his hand, which gets it to go high, which is going to be left of target. And he knows this is a one shot he can't make because there's not enough oil in the center of the lane. It's not like when you bowl league and there's a bunch of oil in the middle of the lane and some dry boards to the right. We don't bowl on those types of oil patterns out here. There's not enough oil to hold it on line when you pull it that far. A little bit is okay, and a little bit to the right is okay, but not that much.
Covers a 3-6-10 nicely. Chris told us last night he's used to having to face legends of the game here. He knew that would happen today, regardless of who won the Walter Ray Norm match, if he was able to beat Mike Scroggins in the semifinal, which was the case. So it's Duke in the final. And he said, this is how I learn on the Denny's PBA Tour. You've got to play the best to become the best. And here he is against the tour leader in TV shows. Great run for him last year. Finished up in Ypsilanti. He started here at this very center at the Worlds. We lost to PA in the final.
And look who his roommate beat 2 weeks ago. He had to beat Norm and Walter Ray to win a title.
In one show.
Something about that room, man. I got to get in that room.
Well, he said you could go in there. So
I wonder if he'd pay for my portion for the week. Be about the only way I could get in there.
I doubt it highly.
Thank you.
Since Atlanta last year, the day Walter Ray made the Big Four. 0-4 in title matches. The big approach to get more ball speed. A light hit there, but just the 2-pin could have been worse for Norm. Lane's breaking down. Bowlers have to make adjustments.
Well, I'm not so sure it's that. I think he's made two poor shots, the fourth and fifth frame. He came out of it in the fourth frame, and the ball went high flush. And that one, he came out of it as well. Norm Duke is bowling his best when he posts every shot or freezes at the foul line after he lets go of it. He certainly has not done that the last two shots, yet he still leads by 22 pins.
Japan Cup to Jones, Masters, Mike Scroggins, and Doug Kent Buffalo, all the second-place finishes this year. He'd like to have a first-place finish. Denny's World Championship next Sunday. Note the start time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, third of 4 majors. Here on ESPN, our coverage of the tour continues from Indianapolis Woodland Bowl, where Randy won a title. Wasn't a major, though, right? Back in '99.
It was not. But to me, it was, Dave.
It was big. One of your 13. Back to Normie.
And you see that? There's the difference. That shot there, he posts it. He freezes at the foul line. His direction's good. He doesn't come up and out of it. When he starts to come up and out of it, he has a tendency to overthrow it and get fast. And it's the one thing he doesn't want to do right now. Real soft hand. He's trying to go real straight. Not a lot of revs. Very little, if any, axis rotation or side turn. Nice and straight. Nice and straight direct line to the 1-3.
Norman struck 5 of his first 6 frames. The youngster Loschetter. And his wife watching. She's a few weeks away from her master's degree at Cleveland State in Human Resources. Would like to stay at Cleveland State as an employee if possible. She's a GA now. On the bubble, Lonnie Walchek of Wichita, Kansas, former Wichita State Shocker, is right on that bubble, 32nd. Those are all the 32 recent winners on the Denny's PBA Tour. Plus 2 seniors, 2 regional winners as well. 28 titleists. And the 4 others, different categories, make up the Dexter Tournament of Champions field.
Right back in it.
Big shot. Loschetter, who could knock Walchek out.
Kid's fearless. A lot of talent, and fearless is a really good combination to have out here. You think he likes this one?
Right back in it. Right back.
Yes, you are.
Frame, 4-bagger for Duke possible? You bet.
But he's going up against one of the greatest that's ever played this game. And Norm Duke doesn't shy away from any challenge.
I misspoke, 7th frame going for the double, which he has.
Chris Loschetter can strike out and shoot 267. If Norm strikes out, Loschetter will lose by 12. Just don't overthink it. Keep your composure and make shots. However, easier said than done when you're trying to win on the Denny's PBA Tour.
He's feeling it. Stormin' Norman Duke. Gets the turkey there. Strikes in frames 6 through 8. Trying to take command. Will Chris Loschetter stand tall in his path is the question. Norm goes for his 23rd career title. Would be 9th all-time on the tour title list if he can get that far. Loschetter has an answer. His wife and parents watching. 4-bagger in frames 5 through 8 for the youngster from the Cleveland area.
Just feathering it in there and making good shots, good quality shots off of his hand, which creates a little bit of area for him, not only at his target, but at the break point. And no matter what Norm Duke does or is doing, Chris Loschetter is like athlete's feet. No matter what Norm does, this guy won't go away.
Sticking around. Saw the max numbers, bottom left of your screen here.
Wow.
7-pin on a pretty nice shot from Loschetter.
Yeah, it was too. He made a really good shot there, and right now he's going to be in a pretty tough spot with a conversion on the 7-pin. Watch this. This looks like a pretty good hit, and unfortunately he leaves a shaker 7. Norm Duke in full command now. This is Norm Duke's tournament to win by performing in the 9th and 10th frame.
We'll see if he can rise to the occasion, as he's done so many times in his great career. Great ball speed. Loschetter has the 7-pin. Remember, as the 5 seed, step ladder finals, he lost that first match to the 4 seed Mike Machuga. His last TV appearance, he just didn't bowl well. 236 to 154. Better week, certainly, for Chris Loschetter here. Big shot coming up here for Duke.
A strike here, and any mark in the 10th frame, Norm wins.
There's a strike.
Is today the day that Norm Duke finally gets off the schneid with 7 shows this season in 3 seconds already? Is today the day? All he needs is any mark, the 10th frame. Sit the pocket every time on this lane.
He wanted a strike. He got a strike. The 5 goes down. And Norm Duke rises to the occasion. What did Norm tell us last night? Hey, everyone's just giving Tommy Jones a Player of the Year award. Now 7 shows. Okay, a win here. Some noise in the majors. You never know. Norm's saying it's not over yet. I've had a great year, too. That's such a big goal for Norm Duke. Become Player of the Year again. He's had the look. He's had the breaks all day long.
Finally, things go his way. Norm Duke's going to be in the 270s. And just an incredible year for one of the greatest that's ever thrown a bowling ball.
Keep going, man. Just keep going.
Finally, Norm Duke will leave a tournament this year with a good feeling, a victory. All of those attempts, 7 shows, and he finally wins one here today. He's the leader of the pack, Randy. You said it, top of the broadcast. This match is over. Norm Duke has wrapped it up with his 275 score today. 23rd career Denny's PBA Tour title to the great Norm Duke.
play.
Chris Loschetter will have to wait another day for his first ever title. For now, it's the 40-plus crowd that dominates the youngsters. Norm Duke has won again on the Denny's PBA Tour. A win over Loschetter in the final of the 2006 Ace Hardware Championship match. The Ace Hardware Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Ace. Ace is the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By Dexter, where you can play with the pros. Enter to win at DexterShoe.com. By Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. This year, let the tax experts at Jackson Hewitt help you get the biggest refund you deserve. And by Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to Motel6.com. Hamlet Monticelli, Dave Ferraro, PBA Hall of Famers that have won multiple titles here. Norm Duke certainly is headed for the PBA Hall of Fame someday. He wins a championship over Chris Loschetter, and we know Norm would love to win more than one title here in Taylor, Michigan. 275, 221 in the final, and the happy Norm Duke joined by Randy.
Thanks, Dave. It's real loud down here. Norm, congratulations. After six tries, you finally get off the schneid. Describe how you're feeling.
Well, you know, it's been a journey this year. I've played so good at times, but just to a point, and then it just seems like I could never finish the deal. Well, as long as the journey's been, I am grasping this thing. No one can take it.
Now, your best friends out here on tour, Brian Voss and Mike Machuga, they've both won prior to you winning today. Were they giving you any grief because you hadn't won yet?
Of course. As a matter of fact, they said, you know, it's going to be the two amigos if you don't win, Norm. And, you know, Mike calls us the three amigos. So I'm back in the clan now. I'm in that lonely horse in the back, but I'm there.
Norm, what's next?
Well, you know, we have some big tournaments coming up, and there's a lot to bowl for. And so I'm going to try to use this as a stepping stone to things that are better even. But certainly I'll have 2 or 3 days to relish in this one.
And Tommy Jones has to be at the top of the list for Player of the Year honors. You've had a phenomenal season, finally get a win under your belt. Do you think you can chase him down?
Well, the way he's bowling, I kind of doubt it. I mean, it was kind of like Walter Ray in his heyday. You feel like you're chasing somebody that just keeps winning. But as long as I'm mathematically there, you know, Randy, that I have the heart to continue on, so I hope so. But right quick, I would like to say hello to my father back home who's watching today. I love you, Dad.
Congratulations, Norm. Dave?
An emotional Norm Duke celebrating with his loved ones a 23rd career title. College Game Night update is coming up next here on ESPN. Chris Loschetter will continue his bid for his first ever title. The youngster at 25 years old, a smile on his face certainly will take a lot from an educational experience this week as he made his third show but will not win his first ever title, at least for now. Don't forget next week, Denny's World Championship. Note the start time. Be sure to write that one down, folks. 2 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN, 11 on the West Coast, 3rd of 4 majors. The Denny's World Championship, Woodland Bowl in Indy. We moved from Eastern Michigan University in nearby Ypsilanti to Indianapolis for this year's Denny's World Championship. Tremendous amount on the line, multi-season exemption, and of course, more than $100,000 to the winner.
Buy all of you guys a beer in the bar later. We'll see Walter Ray.
Norm is planning a big party. He is now 9th all-time in Denny's PBA Tour titles with his 23rd career championship, which comes today on a day where Walter Ray Williams Jr. had a chance to win his 41st title and tie the late, great Earl Anthony's all-time tour title record. Congratulations goes out to Norm Duke. He wins over Loschetter in the final from Taylor today. For the entire crew, my partner Andy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long, and reminding you it's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. College Game Night update coming up next here on ESPN. Man of the moment, without question, Stormin' Norman Duke from Claremont, Florida. The future PBA Hall of Famer wins another title. Finally, 7 times on TV, he can raise that trophy and say he is indeed the leader of the pack.